our window right now at the traffic light that is absolutely covered with snow.
It's crazy. This is another world down here. I mean, you forget. It's easy to forget. I did the TV game yesterday, and they showed Pittsburgh with the snow coming down, and down here it's sunny every day and warm in the 70s. You forget that you're going back to gray and potential snow. It's unfortunate. You get a chance to come down to Bradenton. It's such a beautiful place, and spring training is awesome. And we're spoiled.
And we say goodbye to John Wehner and move on. Hey, John, watching that game yesterday, man, Oneil Cruz has people excited. It doesn't look like he skipped a beat, does it?
Yeah, it's so hard. I can't imagine how difficult it is to sit an entire season and then come back and try to hit major league pitching. And he looks good. He looks healthy. The leg that he broke last year, he's moving around. He's still got the good speed. He looks good at short, but that bat of his is something else. First swing, he hits a ball that would have ended up in the river outside of PNC Park, and then the next at bat, you're sitting there thinking he's not going to get another fastball, so they throw him 6 consecutive changeups, and the 6th changeup he hits another one that would have ended up in the river. So, yeah, he's got a bat that not many have. He has talent that not many at the major league level has, and he's still a young guy, and again he has to knock the rust off and get the reps to hopefully be out there every day and be healthy, and he could potentially hit 30 plus homers and steal 30 plus bags and play a good shortstop as well. So it's very encouraging to see the start, and for him to feel and look that comfortable despite missing that much time is pretty impressive.
He looked like he muscled up a little bit in the off season too. He looks bigger.
Yeah, he looks like he added a little bit of weight, which is a good thing as long as it doesn't affect his mobility and his speed. He doesn't have to be any stronger. I mean, he's capable of hitting a ball a long way, 20 pounds lighter. But maybe just it seems a lot of guys end up doing that in the off season. You're trying to get back, especially for him who missed so much time. You work out and you bulk up a little bit, and but with the spring and the grind of baseball, playing 162 games, you're going to lose some of that weight. But he looks great. I couldn't be happier with the way he's gone out there and performed.
One of the things that really interests me is I think back to the Jason Kendall injury, and probably there are 2 positions, especially where you really don't want to have any sort of ankle problem, and catcher is one of them. And shortstop might be the other one, because you're called upon to make those quick jab steps to the left and to the right. And for those 2 fellas to come back and to be moving as well as Kendall did and as well as Oneil Cruz appears to be, it means that those guys, they really work hard, don't they, to get back?
Oh, no question. Those are significant injuries. And the game today, I mean, there are so many injuries. You think of pitchers and Tommy John and how much time they have to take to get back, and usually a year and a half. And you think of the medical staff and the doctors, the trainers, the masseuses, everything. They're spending so much time, and I think that gets lost. How much time and efforts the training staff, the medical staff pour into these guys, and obviously the guys have to do the work as well, but they're certainly helped a lot by the medical staff, and it's your livelihood, and you only have so many years that you can play this game, especially at this level, where to me, it's not an easy game. It's difficult, and certainly your health is a big part of it. And it's hard to play if you're not healthy, and so you got to work. You got to work to get it back and to return as soon as possible, because your career is so short. And those were 2 devastating injuries. Kendall's obviously a lot more gruesome and a lot worse. Potential career-threatening thing, and I don't think Oneil Cruz's was to that extent, but still pretty brutal. And it took him a long time to get healthy again. But he put in the work. The medical staff put in the work, and he's back out there, and now I think it's just a matter of getting him the reps and getting used to the timing of playing every day and that grind. Mm-hmm. And for him to do what he's done already has been pretty impressive. I thought they'd play him a bunch, which they have, and he's just going to continue to get better.
We're talking to John Wehner this morning here on Indiana in the Morning. John, these last few years, 5 or 6 of them actually, it seems like the Pirates just continually drafting shortstops and third basemen and second, all the infielders that they drafted, and we're wondering, well, isn't it all about pitching? Shouldn't it all be about pitching? But now you see all these young arms the Pirates have coming up, and it just seems like in the second and third and fourth rounds of the drafts, they have really stocked up on some quality arms, taken a couple of gambles, and these guys might come up and be really, really special.
Yes, the lineup has been looking great. I think the team leads all of baseball in homers, which is encouraging, and that takes some pressure off the pitching. I guess the question mark going in with these in the opening day, these last couple of weeks, is who's going to fill out the rotation, who's going to fill out the bullpen, and there's 2 more slots in the starting rotation, and who's going to fill those spots. And I look at it like this: the first half, how good is the pitching going to be? Who's going to be the last 2 starters? Is it going to be Contreras or Ortiz or Priester or Falter? And the hope is that obviously the guys stay healthy and the guys pitch well enough to keep this team in contention until the second half. Because I look at the second half and the young pitching you're talking about, Paul Skeens and Jared Jones, and they're really close. I think we'll see them this year. Potentially Priester, who's still only 23 years old, and then behind that you got a Bubba Chandler, a first-round pick, Anthony Solomito, who was either a first or second rounder, who has great promise, Braxton Ashford, and Ashcraft rather, and so you have a ton of arms. I got to see Jones yesterday. I saw Skeens earlier this spring. Those are big arms, and Chandler and Solomito will be at least at Double-A this year, potentially at Triple-A. So there's a lot of help coming. I know I've even missed some guys that have a lot of talent that we'll see help this club, if not this year, certainly next. So, yeah, if our rotation can hold its own through the first half, the second half, I see the pitching being a huge strength, and if that is the case, and the lineup continues to be as strong as we've seen, we're in the race. We're in the race for sure in the second half, not only for the postseason, but potentially the NL Central.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I want to ask a John Wehner special question here. The same one that I asked of Bob Walk last week, because Bob played for Jim Leyland as well. How did you feel when your man Jim Leyland was elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Extremely excited for him. I thought it was a lock. This guy was so good for so long, and not only won a World Series, which I was fortunate enough to be a part of, but he got to a couple more, and then to win the gold medal, why can't I think of the World Baseball Classic? And he was just a treat to play for, and so intelligent, so intense. Really had the back of his players. Everybody loved to play for him, and certainly deserving for a guy that just had to work so hard and toil, such a long time in the minors as a manager, then getting the opportunity to coach and then manage at the big league level, and he racked up the wins, and there are a lot of great stories from playing with him, and I couldn't be happier, and he couldn't be happier. It's certainly a deserving award.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about it is the reaction of Jim Leyland himself. He's absolutely delighted with all of this, and not because it's attention on him, but because it validates the way that he approaches the game and the way that he approaches working with guys like you and Walkie and everybody. It doesn't matter if you're the first guy on the team or the 26th or 27th guy on the team. Jim Leyland is always going to treat you with respect and let you know where you stand.
Yes, it didn't matter. He had plenty of superstars on his teams, and he had a bunch of guys like me that kind of bounced back and forth from the big leagues to the minors. But he had a knack for putting you in the right position to succeed, and you learn to appreciate that, especially later in your career and after your career's over. That you might not have been happy with your playing time or your role, but he knew what was best. He had a knack for putting you in those positions to succeed, and he did it for a long time. Next time I see him, though, I'm definitely going to have to joke with him. I mean, there's no Pete Rose or Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame or Roger Clemens, but there's a Jim Leyland.
And maybe one day a John Wehner. We can dream, can't we?
Oh, that is a dream. Yeah, that's another lifetime.
Hey, John, thanks for spending some time with us today. You headed to Fort Myers today, or are you off?
I am. I'm heading down there. So, yeah, we'll be down there. Nice long drive and nice traffic, but I'm not going to complain. It's beautiful down here. I'll enjoy it.
It's Florida, it's baseball, and it's March. We love it. John, thanks again.
You bet. Talk to you Wednesday.
John Wehner with us this morning from Bradenton, Florida. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com.